who is holding space? Who's the space holder? Who's responsible for how this space goes? And it's possible that even in a meeting space, the boss might not be the true space holder. There's somebody pulling the string behind it. And that's your energetic body, it's your energetic sensitivity that has this sense of who is really responsible for this space. And is it conscious? Is it conscious space holding with conscious purpose? Or is it an unconscious space holding?
One time there was an auditorium in college and I was learning about holding space, and there was a guy, a single black guy playing a guitar, making amazing music. 300 people in the audience, and me and two buddies were practicing the skills of listening, holding space, a listening space. And so he's playing along, halfway through a song, he just stops. He goes, "You guys out there, this is an incredible space. I don't know, I haven't played this well in months. So you guys listen so well, especially you three guys." So up on the stage out of 300 people, he could feel the value of the listening space. So when you create a space of listening, it's valuable for the whole, everybody benefits from your work in the space. Anything else right now? Okay, so I want to run through this 13 tools because we like to give you a 14th tool. And it's not really on a website so well right now. So these you can get on the website, practice them with your team, and we're going to give you a tool for removing energetic blocks, like a procedural tool for removing energetic blocks. So we'll get to that, but I just want you to know, when we get to that, you'll be in groups of 3, and you will be feeling something. Anger, sadness, fear, joy, at a relatively intense level. So if you do not agree to that, if you do not want to do that, probably you should leave maybe now, because the space is going to start flying pretty soon. So if that's not okay for you to feel something, please depart. Otherwise, you're welcome, and you'll get a chance to have 3 roles in the energetic block removal space. So you'll get to be a coach. You'll get to be the coach part. You'll get to be the space holder, and you'll get to be the client who gets to remove a block. So you can start while we're talking, think about where you might have an energetic block somewhere in your body. You don't have to figure anything out about it. Just figure out where you've had physical problems or emotional problems or some tensions or whatever. You can find this block.
So I want to say that in this conference, somehow there's been a theme that running through about initiation. And so when we'll do this process in groups of 3, it's an initiation. Because an initiation is any experience after which you can take more responsibility, one dimension. So that dimension would be removing an energetic block. And you will experience it from the inside as a client, and then you'll experience it
Which is a healing. That's actually a healing part.
And then when you're holding space for your client, that is an initiation. Because then you have the tool, you become responsible, or you can be responsible for holding space for other people to remove an energetic block. And it's an amazing non-material value that to provide in your eco-villages and communities and circles. We've put, I think we'll talk about this, but really we have many energetic blocks in regards to being a witch or a healer, or having value,
We call it a possibility.
Yeah, a possibilitator. But we'll talk about that.
Will we? I hope so. Time goes by quickly. Any questions? What? Go ahead.
Question to the thing before. You said who is holding, who is determining the space when I notice that it's not the facilitator maybe and somebody else, or it's not me but somebody else is stronger. How do I change that?
Multiple ways. So you can negotiate. You can notice, hey, look, there's no real space holder here. I'd like this to be a held space. If this is not a held space, I will go use my time somewhere else. Okay, if there's nobody else going to be space holder, I volunteer to be space holder. sometimes in spaces where I don't have the power to negotiate. Being the space holder, I'll just take over space holding. The purpose is call in my bright principles and serve the purpose of the meeting, or serve the purpose of the gathering. And it just goes better. It goes to a whole new level of clarity, possibility, of transformation, of healing, of discovery. And I'm holding the space, and every now and then I'll say a little something like a contributor, but I won't be the space holder.
So by just declaring it inside and becoming conscious, I can do that.
Yes, but it's not inside. It's an actual energetic declaration, and that's it's one of the skills you'll need for that is being a pirate in this case. Right. So that you pirate the space. It's called pirating the space, and you do it to serve conscious purposes, to benefit the people, to benefit the purpose, to benefit the flow. But you've been in so many meetings that have been sloppily space held. I've been in a couple with you actually, and I take over, and so I don't know if you noticed, but some ways like I just take over and do some stuff to hold the space better, or I leave. So and you can do the same. Thank you. Any other questions? At least we had one question. So I'm gonna. Do you want to do this, or should I do it? Go ahead. These are all energetic tools, and they work through use of your energetic body. We have 5 bodies. You have an intellectual body. Most people in Western culture think we have a mind and a body, and that's what we are. The body is designed to carry the mind around to your next meeting space, and that's or to find the right, Zoom link so you can get on your next meeting, whatever it is. That's what. In fact, we've been discovering that we have 5 bodies. Actually, there's more, but they get really subtle and not so useful for what we're trying to do here. But you have your physical body with organs that have sensations and stuff like that. You have an intellectual body that has a mind with thoughts, opinions, judgments, constructs, attention. You have an emotional body that has a heart with feelings, mad, sad, glad, and scared, and emotions, mad, sad, glad, and scared, and also mixed emotions, which have completely different uses. Emotions and feelings are completely different, have totally different uses. We'll work with that a little bit while you're removing your energetic block. You have an energetic body which is close on to your physical body, but it's like, I'm going to walk towards you. Tell me when I get too close.
No.
All right. So how did you know that?
I didn't want
Yes. But see, the way that you explained how you knew that was not saying, I could sense you with my energetic body, your energetic body, and my bubble of space is here, and your bubble of space is here, and I wanted some space between your bubble and my bubble. You didn't even let me get that close. And you could say that now. You get that? Because that's how you know. You felt it through the bubble in your energetic body.
Yes.
Okay, great. So we know all this stuff. We're really sensitive about timing,
Ownership,
intention.
will.
Yeah, all these forces are energetic, and we're capable of detecting all this through our energetic body. And you have an archetypal body. So it's hard to even talk about your archetypal body until your other 4 bodies are turned on and coordinated. So when you went to school, which body was completely overstuffed? And which bodies were left as if they did not exist? Yeah. And what?
Even physical.
Even physical. I mean, they send us outside to kick the ball around or whatever a little bit. But hey, we are so capable with physical bodies that we're not trained. Yeah. I mean, one day I was talking with my dad. He was an aircraft engineer, and he was feeling the table like this. I go, what are you doing? And my mom said, he can detect difference of height in 1/10 of a millimeter, just from the sense of the fingers, because he needed that because he was building jets, airplanes, passenger jets. So it's like we can feel all this stuff, colors, sounds, music, like all this stuff is so amazing, and we basically learn it outside of school. We learn it when we want to. So, okay, so we didn't learn this stuff. We have 5 bodies. This is going to be mostly energetic stuff. So we get about the belt buckle, where to find your center, where to put your center, where your center of gravity is. Your clicker is for declaring your grounding cord, your bubble, also the black hole, also other kinds of declarations. You can use your clicker for that. Sword of clarity. You have, and your sword in your belt, you have a sword of clarity, which is used for making distinctions. This, that, not now, you. So it has an energy behind it. There's an energy that empowers this tool. One of the four feelings. Which energy is it? Which of the four feelings, anger, sadness, fear, or joy, is the sword of clarity? Anger. Can you get that? It's anger. Precision. Precision. So there's a thing about your sword is, I'll be saying some stuff that some people will not understand, but some people really need to hear this, so I'll just say it. But I interact with people, I never put my sword of clarity away. I used to, when I first learned about it, I'd learn about it in trainings, use it in trainings, I'd go home, and I'd put my sword of clarity away, and my home life was a mess. And then I go, what? I got kids, I got bills to pay, there's stuff to be, okay. So I come home from a training with my sword of clarity. I would use it all day long. I'd go up to the bedroom with my wife, and I'd put my sword away. Oh, bad idea. Okay? That's the place you need your sword of clarity the most. So then, I never put my sword of clarity away. I'm sleeping with it. You know, I'm taking showers with it. I'm driving with the car with my sword of clarity. So just keep your sword of clarity out. And so if you have your sword of clarity with somebody and they have an unconscious gremlin who has an unconscious purpose and they have unconscious interest in devouring your energy or devouring your attention or using you as an emotional garbage can. Anybody have those kind of experiences? Okay. Well, if you keep your sword of clarity out at their throat, just say, I'm just not available for that. I'm not available for that. And they move forward towards you anyway, what happens?
You get angry.
What?
You get angry.
No.
They hit the sword.
They hit the sword. They run onto the sword. They kill themselves. You know, you just have a sword. And then they walk onto the sword. It's not your problem. It is not your problem. So just keep your sword out. Yeah. You mean, do I walk around like this? Yes, with my energetic body.
It helps in the beginning. Some people walk around with a physical wooden sword, a bokken usually, which is a Japanese sword, for a month when they start discovering their sword of clarity. And they walk around like they walk in the mall, they go to work, they drive, they sleep, they whiz a sword to just get the sensation of it. And because we've just not trained in our energetic body, and then the physical object can fall off. I just want to say, in the path of adulthood of evolution, the first tool that we learn with anger is to make boundaries, because we've just not been trained in saying no and stop and enough. And so boundaries is often high intensity. It can be high intensity anger, and it has this power of cutting. It just says no. And the ability with the sword of making distinction, for example, I am not available, is a skill that comes a little bit further down the path of adulthood. When you're clear about your boundary, you're clear about your personal bubble of space, you're clear about your culture, then the boundaries get integrated in you, and the distinctions are enough to take care of yourself. But there's kind of this phase for a few months of just, I mean, I remember when I started getting my anger back and somebody would move my fork and I'm like, this is my fork and don't touch it! You know, it's like, okay. It just took a few months to just get integrated, and then I could negotiate intimacy.
There's times when you need more than one sword at somebody's throat at the same time. For example, when you go home for Christmas, or when you go to a business party, a business meeting, and there's competitors or there's people sitting around the table, and you just may need more than one sword at the same time. Well, if you remember these Hindu statues of Shiva and stuff, who have more than one arm, each with a sword in it. Has anybody seen that? Yeah. Okay. Hey, This is a model. It is a map. It is a learning instruction piece. It is like a wake-up call. Gosh, well, people knew about this thousands of years ago, actually. But you can actually click your clicker, make as many arms as you need, each with a sword facing anybody, as many people as you need. So it took me years to figure that out. So, but as soon as I got it, it's like, it's going in my new book. So, yeah, it's just fabulous.
There was a question, Fernanda?
Yeah, thank you. Just on that, it's interesting. The Tibetan Buddhist deities, there's a lot of the sword and that cuts ignorance.
Ouch.
So, ignorance as being, just the wrong view of reality, right? So, I just wanted to put that. But my question is, what is like the bottom line between relaxing, having the sword? Because otherwise you'll all the time kind of like, oh, is this like me? What is the, because, there is like the,
Wait, so look, do you play musical instruments?
Yeah,
What?
a little bit of guitar
Good.
and drums.
Okay, so a little bit of guitar means that when you first picked up the guitar, can you remember how that was? Did it work? No. So then some people show you some things. And then you get a song, and you get the chords, you get the beat, you get the measure, and when you play that song for the first 100 times, there's a certain kind of effort required. You know what I'm talking about? It's called conscious practice. Okay. So then you have this kind of competence, but you have to pay attention while you're doing the competence. It's called conscious competence. But if you keep practicing, your identity will shift. You will relocate. Your being will change shape such that that song is you. You just pick up a guitar and you can be talking to somebody and playing this guitar and this song at the same time because your heart knows this song, your body knows this song. It's in you. Okay, so the same way with all these skills. These are tools. They're skills, just like a guitar, just like a piano, just like one of those band saws that you can cut through wood and stuff like that, like a screwdriver. Yes. So it takes practice, and the evolution of practice goes through unconscious incompetence to conscious incompetence to conscious competence to unconscious competence, at which point some people stop. But in our game world called possibility management, when you get to unconscious competence, we clap for about 15 seconds, and then we kick you in the butt and have you go to the next level. So don't get stuck at one level. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to share how connected this is with Mayan cosmovision. The 13 energetic points that we have in our bodies too, and it's like all of them can be stored in certain places. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And the sword, they use the obsidian blade.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like looking at the relationship we have with crystals too, because they're living beings, and whenever they're with us, they're sharing the energy. So obsidian blades are protectors, and they will just pull away everything like negative energies from you. Just
Probably I was Mayan in a past life. Thank you. Yes.
I was just wondering with the relationship between this and like the 4 archetypes, king, warrior, lover, magician, kind of thing, because I see a lot of warrior and magician stuff in there. And how does it tie into this universe, this Jungian psychology universe?
Not at all. Zero. Yeah, and I propose that you don't try to map this stuff onto, and this has nothing to do with Jungian, Freudian, psychoanalysts. The world of archetypes, the world archetype that we're using is completely different from that. It just means we are designed on an archetypal form. We understand, we can relate to the archetypal universe, the archetypal domains. And when we build temples and you walk in, the stuff at Damenhor, or if you've been in Greece or Rome or something, you can see these temples that are built on. You just go, okay, this is a temple. And so we know what temples are. Well, there's this archetypal part of the universe that we're able to map onto, but it takes the intellectual, physical, energetic, and emotional bodies to get up and going before we can actually navigate the space into the archetypal domains. When you do that with a partner, you can actually go on 5-body intimacy journeys into the archetypal domains and explore what is past the status quo. Because there are treasures out there. Most of what we have in possibility management came from such journeys. We bring them back into the world and go, look what we found out there. It's new distinctions, new possibilities, new clarity. There's a lot more about that, but right now we're talking about voice blaster. So everybody here has a voice blaster. You were born with it. It's used for shooting voices. Voices come around your head like, I'm not good enough. Anybody have a voice like that flying around them? Or I'll never make it. Or they're better than me. Or I'm not fast enough. I don't have enough whatever. Okay, these are not actually your voice. These are voices from times when you've been criticized or judged, from parental authority figures long ago, and it became normal. You normalized those voices to survive. Well, right now they're existing around you like vampires, like mosquitoes. And so, when a voice comes around you, you don't have to listen to it. You do not have to give it attention. So I don't know, I don't know if you guys are vegetarians and you try to meditate so the mosquitoes go away. I don't know. I just fucking smash them because I'm not available for vampires. Just not available. So mosquitoes are vampires. These voices are energetic vampires. They use up your soul. They suck your soul out. You want to go talk to somebody and it just goes, well, they probably don't like me. They probably don't even see me. I'm not worthy. You know, they're better than me. And then you just go away and eat more chocolate cake. So,
can you just kind of everybody move a little forward so then people can sit?
That's
cool. So, I'd like voice blasters so that you actually use it at least once or twice before, to start now. So if you could everybody pull out, reach behind, pull out your voice blaster. It's been there since you were born. Nobody ever told you about it before. Now, all of the way this works is you say out loud the voice that just happens to be fluttering around, the one this morning. Which one has been fluttering around you this morning? So on the count of 3, everybody says the voice out loud, and then you go, bang! Like that. And if you want, you can go, it's a little bit cowboy stuff, but whatever. James Bond doesn't do that. I don't know why he does it. Okay, so here we go. You got your voice blaster out. You say the voice. I'll never make it. I'm not good enough. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Bang! Now the thing is, the bullets never end and it never misses. So now it's got a hole in its wing. Okay, so it's going around like this, going, gosh, that was bad, but he's still there. So let's go in. I'm gonna get him again. Bang! Where's the bang?
Bang! Bang! Bang!
That was a little
slow. Bang!
That was a voice, right? That's a little slow.
No, it wasn't that one.
What voice is it?
It was. I don't get it. I don't get it. Bang!
Oh, she's too much of a pain in the ass. I'm gonna get somebody else. Bang! Too late! Too late! This is so true. It really works like that. So you just shoot them. Some people go, I'm tired of this. Okay, disc of nothing. It's about 10 centimeters in diameter, made out of a gold ring, gold on the back, and the front is like a stargate. Everybody know what a stargate is? That liquidy, blue, watery, silvery thing. Okay? So what's in the disc of nothing? No, that's what's possible in there.
Everything.
No, that's what's possible there. What's in there is nothing. It's nothing. So let's say somebody insults you. Somebody sends a little zinger. Somebody says something that's going to hook you and push one of your buttons.
Makes a little rumor.
Makes a little rumor about you. It sends out that hook. So the hook's coming to try to push your button. You pull out your disc of nothing, and the hook goes in there. What does it hook onto?
Nothing.
Isn't that cool? And it works from behind. You can also go like this and catch the people doing shit behind your back. It's so cool. The disc of nothing. And it just goes in there. You don't have to react, respond, revenge. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to defend yourself, protect, block. You don't understand. You don't even have to understand. You just hold up the disc of nothing. Whoosh, got another disc of nothing. Well, anyway.
It works for messages and emails and stuff like that.
Bag of things. It's something, an energetic thing. You have something that looks like this. It's bigger. And it has stuff in it. It has whatever you need. And so you can reach into your bag of things when you just need an idea, or you need a possibility, you need a tool, you need a doorway, something like that. You just reach in, pull it out. And also in your bag of things, you have a vast number of pearls of concentrated, golden concentrated energy and information that's yours. Your own energy and information is in this thing. So when you have your center grounding cord bubble and you notice that there's a conversation that you're having with somebody, an argument, you want to explain something, you want to defend something. Anybody have one of those going on?
You're having a conversation in your head.
Yeah, you're trying to explain something or defend something. That means somebody else's energy is in your space. That's what it means. And it doesn't belong there. It's their energy. So when you have your center grounding cord and bubble, then you have your space, but it's full of other people's shit. So then you reach into one of your bag of things, hold it up here, let go, it goes, whew, hits your center and blows up, and
You can do it all together.
and fills up, we will,
Okay.
and fills up your space with your own energy and information and squirts the other stuff out. Okay? It's a very efficient way to clean your bubble on the inside. And by the way, it works just faster than the sage, and it doesn't set off the smoke alarms, and it doesn't smell like marijuana afterwards. You just these golden balls, drop it in, it explodes. Okay, I want you to try it. Close your eyes, reach in your bag of things, pull out one of your pearls, hold it over your head, let it go, floats down, hits your center, pops open. You'll feel it in your energetic body. It's not a guess. It's not a concept. You're not imagining this. And it's your whole body and the inside of your bubble is filled up with your own energy and information, and everybody else's energy is sent home back to them. If you still notice the conversation, do it again. Sometime it takes 3, 4, 5 of these golden pearls before it sends, for especially long enmeshed energies, back to other people. Just keep putting in golden pearls. Cool.
That way of cleansing?
Yes, cleansing your bubble. Yeah, on the inside. Exactly. And get another pearl. Do this one more time. It's useful to do this too. Get one more pearl, hold it above you. So now your bubble inside is already filled up with your own energy and information. So this will be excess. Drop it in, it goes down, and as it pops, let the extra energy go down your grounding cord into the earth. And while it's going down there, reach down and twang it like a guitar string. Go boing, like this. You just twang it. And when you do that, you might see little bugs drop off. Little vampire, little excess dirt kind of stuff hanging onto your grounding cord. Anybody see that? A couple people, 4, 8? Okay. Yeah. I mean, one time I went to Bali, I came back from Bali, and my grounding cord had this beautiful gold filigree on it all the time. I go, God, that's cool. I was in Bali. It took me about a month to realize these were little vampire things I picked up in Bali that were just sucking energy off my grounding cord. And then when I did this thing finally, boing, they all just went, eek, and went away. I had a clean grounding cord again. So it's useful to do that. Wand of declaration is like a magic wand, and it's to declare means to say what is so. And so we do this all the time unconsciously. For example, what a nice day out there. Isn't it a nice day today? We just declared what kind of day it is. You know, oh man, this meal is, this is not good enough. Oh man, that talk was beautiful. Oh wow, I just read a great book. This is all declaring, to say what is so. And so most of our declaring is unconscious to serve low drama and shadow principles. But you can make that conscious to serve bright principles. So it's a useful thing to get a hold of your wand of declaration. Your hammer of assertion is to make boundaries, to say no, to say stop, like Anne-Chloé was talking about. A lot of us are just really wounded in that area. We've not been permitted to say no, or stop, or that's enough, or it's finished, or it's over, or I'm done with this, or I'm leaving. And so it's just this hammer. and you just
And
and
it often comes with reclaiming your voice. So many of us, we're whispering. We have little mouse voice instead of filling in the space, of occupying space. So that really helps with that.
great. Next tool is a possibility paintbrush, which is one of the probably the most powerful tools on here, because we each live in a world that we've created, and we look at it from the inside. And so on the inside is like a box around us, and it's kind of like a movie theater with 4 walls, a ceiling, and a floor that have a screen on them. And we have designed the inside of our world to be as we like it. Now you would think that if we designed a world inside of ourselves to be as we like it, we would not beat ourselves up or criticize or judge ourselves, for example. But in fact, that has become normal for us. So we painted inside of ourselves to make it as normal for ourselves. And so how many people have this self-criticism, self-judgment, blame, this fear of never making it? Yeah. So that's your interior design. That's what it's like. And the question is, who made it? So who made your interior design? This is radical responsibility.
Me.
See, most people think they made it, or my circumstances made it, my parents made it, teachers made it, and then you wait around for your whole life for them to fix it. How long are you going to wait? So this is about taking radical responsibility for repainting, painting doorways in what looks like a wall. If you get up close to the inside of your box, it looks like this wall, a mountain, this door that's locked. And if you walk up close to it, really close to it, like really, really close to it, and you put your finger right through it, it's like tissue paper. The whole thing in there is tissue paper. So we don't ever, you can feel what it's like when you get to the edge of your box, you start seeing that it's fake. What do you feel? You start getting to the edge of your world and what do you feel?
Fear.
Yeah. And we haven't been trained how to feel fear. So then we go back to the marshmallow zone inside the middle of our box, and we don't go close to the wallpaper anymore to push our hand through, because then where would we be? Oh my God. So is this, I'm not going to get into that one very much. Is how you fabricate stories or invent stories. And luckily we have Dissolver so that you can dissolve the stories that you made and make new stories. Wolf.
Well, you were talking about the possibility of paintbrush as a tool, but how do you use this?
Yeah. It's a longer conversation. There's a website about this.
Just because you didn't say anything about it, I was just
Yes,
wondering if
I didn't say almost anything about anything, and I'm not finished not saying things. So you have a purpose sniffer, and purpose is this powerful intention that happens from you or from an environment or from other people, and you have a detector, and it can tell you what the purpose is going on. This is bullshit. This is cool. This is in alignment with my purpose. This is contrary to my purpose. You have this detector of purpose. And so every action and every inaction and every word and every silence has a purpose to it. And if you are not using your purpose sniffer, then you're ignorant about purpose. And you're naive. You're just naive, and you can't actually relate. You can't negotiate. You can't co-create. You can't participate, because you're not clear about your purpose and you're not clear about other people's purpose. And so it's just a mess. So a lot of us live in a world that looks like a mess. We have this inner construct that's weak and sloppy. And then our interactions are messy, our finances are messy, our house is messy, our neighborhood relationship with our neighbors is messy. Anybody know about messy? Especially the guy named Mess around here. Yeah, okay. So you can use your purpose sniffer and start detecting purpose, and just sit there and slow everything down. Go, he moved his hand from here to here. What was the purpose? So is it conscious or unconscious purpose? What did it create? Okay, she's shaking her head and smiling. What's the purpose? Does she even know? God, now she's smiling and putting her head on his shoulder as if she can hide behind him. What's the purpose? God, she almost hit her head on the drinking bottle. Now she's falling over off of her chair. What's the purpose of that? She wants somebody to rescue her. Oh my God. There's all these purposes going on. The red cloth is very cool. Mine happens to be multicolored. But a lot of us, when something comes at us, like a problem or a person or an attack or even praise or something, which is a manipulative force. Praise is manipulation. I think you know what I'm talking about. A lot of us, when that's coming towards us, this running bull, the bull's running right at us, and we go, you stand behind the target. You're standing behind the target. So the bull comes at the target, you're right behind it. Guess who gets smashed with your target? So the red cloth is this very cool thing of when somebody is going through a process and they're projecting on you and they have expectations or needs, or you just kind of go, anything else about that? Anything else you'd like to say? So you don't have to be the victim of all that stuff. You just move the target over here like that. So this is a very handy little thing called the red cloth. Jacob's ladder is did you ever see those high voltage electric things that kind of go like this with a spark across? They go. Anybody ever see that? Okay, it's called a Jacob's ladder. So the thing is that it automatically goes up. The spark automatically rises because of the heat that it makes. It automatically goes. So you use this as a tool. You turn it on, and you don't have to be stuck in the current space. You do not have to abide by the assumptions of the current space or the distinctions or the limitations of the current space. You turn on your Jacob's ladder, and it just takes you out of that space. This is a cool little nonlinearity tool. And more tools. So, okay, any questions? There's a lot more about this on all those websites. Read the context, do the experiments, register your matrix points at the startover.xyz game. We're aiming to get 1 million matrix points.
Woo!
So and that will change the morphogenetic field of the human race when you build more awareness like that. Build more matrix. Okay, no questions. Good. I mean, bad. Bad. It's bad. Okay. To be an effective agent, to have agency these days, to function at the edge of modern culture, to invent next culture, to build bridges to next culture, to take people with you across bridges to next culture, to navigate the kinds of emotional reactivity, the wounding that people have, to take people through healing processes, to upgrade people's thoughtware so they can join you on this journey across the bridge to next culture, takes new skills. Takes new skills. A lot of those skills, you'll never find them in a college curriculum, for example. They're just not there. So this is energetic college time. Here's a list of some. This is only at the tip of the iceberg of the kind of competences that you need as a possibilitator to function in the world to create next culture. So you need to be able to be dangerous. Yes.
A possibilitator is very simply someone who creates new possibility. Creates possibility that were not available before. So there's a bunch of different specialties. You can call yourself something else than a possibilitator, but if you're creating new possibilities for people, then that's the kind of skill you would need.
Yeah, so just think about it. Is it okay for you to be dangerous? Is it okay for you to be radically clear?
And
to
so
have clarity.
While
Yeah.
Clinton goes through this list, what might be useful is to check the one that you have the most resistance to. Because that's the one that you might have a block against, and then we'll be working with that.
We'll be looking for, you can look for your block this way.
Yeah.
And if you have 50 blocks, we'll do 50 processes. Yes.
What's the point in being dangerous?
Well,
I mean,
think of the opposite. Think of the opposite. What's the point of being undangerous?
that doesn't make sense to me. Can you explain? Can you give an example?
Yes, you're being dangerous right now. Yeah, how many people get it that he's being dangerous right now? How many people get the sense of it? You have to put your hand up high enough for him to see. He couldn't see your hands. Okay, see, putting your hands up all the way is being dangerous.
So
Putting your
those
hands
who
up
put
like
their
this.
hands up, they feel threatened by me?
No. No,
What then?
no. you have a smile on your face. It's from your gremlin. So I don't want to talk to your gremlin. I want to talk to you. This is not a gremlin game. I know you don't know what I'm talking about, but I'm still talking to your gremlin, and he knows what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about.
All right then. So to be dangerous simply means to not conform, to not go along with, to not abide by the assumptions.
Okay.
To disagree.
Like a conscious interrupter, I would call it.
Okay, as you wish. But that's only one form of being dangerous, to be a conscious interrupter. There's many other forms of being dangerous. To just be vulnerable is to be dangerous. To say what you want is being dangerous. To make a boundary is being dangerous. So there's so many ways to just not be undangerous. You know, to not be a doormat.
Thanks, that makes sense.
Okay.
Just the word is a bit misleading
Yeah,
for me.
yeah. Thank you. Being vulnerable. It's, are you able to be vulnerable? Like, just take it off. Take the next thing off. Take the next thing off. Keep dropping down. Next layer. Next mask. Next lie. Next, pretend level. Just keep taking it off. Going first. Are you able to go first? You wait around for other people to go first. To do this work, you need to go first. If you don't go first, nobody else goes first, nothing happens. Okay, you see that a lot. Taking a stand. To take a stand is a commitment. It's another kind of commitment. It says, I take a stand for this. I will complete this. This is not going to happen anymore. I'm going to make this happen. I'm going to change this. This is a commitment.
Can I say something
Yeah.
about taking a stand and commitment? I heard a few times in this conference saying, how do we do this? And there's no stand and no commitment in that question. Instead of saying, I want this to happen, I am missing possibilities, who can give me possibilities for this to happen because I care about it, I love this, I want it to change. That's a stand.
The stand is
And it doesn't mean
I
to
will
do it alone.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean to do it alone.
The stand is simply, I will do this.
Yeah.
I am doing this. I am doing this. I take a stand for that. Speaking out. Are you able to speak out? There's so many silent things, especially questions. There's so many silent things that remain unspoken within us. And they fester. When you don't say your line in a script, it festers in there, and you have decades of unspoken things in you because you have not spoken out. Are you able to speak out? Landing distinctions in a space. You have to hold the space before you can call the distinctions in. When it hits the space, it goes poof. Everybody gets it in their energetic body, in their being. They get the distinction. They get to change. They benefit from the distinction. Are you able to call a distinction in to the space? Like, there's this distinction called archiarchy. Archiarchy is the culture that comes after matriarchy and patriarchy have run their course. This is where we are on the planet. Yes.
You skipped being visible?
See? I'm able to do that. That was being invisible. Excuse me. Yeah. Are you able to be visible like that? Thank you. Okay. I don't want to take too much time. I'm going to kind of zoom through these. Being a problem, right? Going nonlinear. Being loud. Experimenting. There's this great scene in Back to the Future #3 where Doc and Marty are stealing a locomotive. And the guy comes up and goes, is this a bank robbery? Is this a bank robbery? And he goes, no, it's a science experiment. I mean, so you can do almost anything in the world, and if people go, what the fuck are you doing? And you go, I'm doing an experiment. You go, oh, okay. Being smarter than the system. Are you able to be smarter than the system? That's so dangerous. It's so scary. They're going to find you and burn you at the stake again. Again. Did it work last time? No. Why? Because you're back. Are you able to invent new stuff? Are you able to cavitate new culture space? Cavitate new culture space. Put your hands through and step into space, inhabit the space, and then you can invite other people into the new culture space. If you don't cavitate, create, if you don't call into existence new culture space, it won't be there. You can't wait around for somebody else to do that because they didn't come to this talk. So You did, and so you can start cavitating new space, because people think, well, we're going to change the space, heal the culture, we're going to revise things, we're going to improve the culture. Well, there's other words like that too, right? So, okay, but then you have the same old culture still. It's the same old culture. So we are capable of cavitating and inhabiting new culture space. Can you do that? Or do you have a block against it? Can you play full out? Take risks? Can you love and be loved? Like, really? Not just as a victim, like going around like, does somebody love me? Does anybody love me? Does she love me? Does she love me enough? What is love anyway? Like, this is this ordinary kind of love. So this is about being a sourcing love. So where you go, love happens. So you're not a victim of there not being enough love. If there's ever not enough love, it's because you're not generating it. So you just generate it. Are you able to not fit in? Are you able to not be adaptive, not be nice? Are you able to have new ideas? Are you able to learn valuable skills that nobody else knows about? Can you imagine that?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Every one of you has secret knacks. A knack is this inexplicable capacity to cause something to happen, or to know something, or see something, or feel something that is kind of inexplicable. It's a third sense or something. It's just everybody know what a knack is? Okay, you all have knacks, but you went to a school that said you should be the same as everybody else, so you put your knacks away. It didn't say, what's your knack? First day of school, what's your knack? Can you tell me what your knack is? One of your knacks. Can you tell me?
Not right now.
I bet you could.
I bet I could.
Relax a little bit. Just tell me what one of your knacks is. What's your name?
Kate.
Kate. Kate, you have some knacks.
I'll say connecting.
Okay, connecting in what way? Knacks are really specific. Connecting with?
No, connecting people.
Connecting other people.
Mm-hmm.
How do you do that?
I'm not sure how I do it.
Okay. Thank you for saying that. But that's a knack. She doesn't know how she does it.
If you start discovering, exploring, like observing how you do it, then you can teach it to other people.
Yeah.
And that can become the non-material value that you offer to the world, because what you're creating is immensely valuable.
Mm-hmm.
And that is our next currency. Teaching each other the knacks that we have is a non-material value currency. Yes?
Is a knack like an intrinsic talent? Or?
Yes. But it also needs to be developed. I mean, there's all these superhero movies online these days. Okay, what's that about? All these witch schools and people with weird talents and special skills. And it's all this, Hollywood fictional stuff. But in reality, we have those knacks. We have many different kind of knacks. And it's so cool to come together and have a knack practice group and just practice up your knacks and teach each other knacks and practice it. So this is learning about valuable skills that nobody knows about. Okay, using your knacks, delivering your non-material value, knowing what you want and creating what is needed. Just to know what you want. Most of the time you get a menu at the restaurant and it's like, oh my God. So you can walk through the world knowing what you want, and it sets a path. And other people, you should try this. Walk down the sidewalk on a busy street and have your center, your grounding cord, your bubble, and know what you want. And hold the space of knowing what you want and just walk down the sidewalk. And people will move around you. Dogs will move around you. I was doing this once with a partner, and the dog was coming right between us, and it stopped there and went just like this because we knew what we wanted. So you should just try this stuff. Being a bridge, being a pirate, speaking from the unknown. This is cool. This is very amazing. People think the unknown, you think there's nothing out there and they think it's scary, but it's this huge resource of not knowing what you're going to say next and still speaking. So you tap into the unknown and let the unknown speak through you as a resource. So you look at the person, you just start speaking and you let the unknown speak through you, and within a couple of minutes of practice, a little practice, it starts making sense. And then when it starts making sense, it doesn't stop. Then you have this huge resource. Asking dangerous questions. So this is, like I said, the beginning of a huge list of competences that are available for us to use as non-material value currency and be the main part of our life, so that things like rent and food and housing and heating and energy and transportation and all that stuff falls off to the side. As of course we have to eat. Of course we have to have a house to sleep in. But how important is it that the wall on this side is beige and this one is amarillo green? Like, how important is that? It just kind of falls off into the, because what you really want to do is practice your knacks in the space. So does it have a trash can like that? Any questions?
Yes. What is being a pirate here?
It's this term came into existence in Germany. We were working with Germans. There was a necessity to confront the massive unconscious commitment to following the rules, to follow the laws, to obey the laws and follow the rules. And Germans can't do that. I can't do that. No, it's against the law. I mean, walk to Germany, they're all wearing masks. I mean, it's insane. So the capacity to perform, to behave in a way that breaks the rules, essentially breaks the rules. And
without going to jail. So we have only three rules that we have in possibility management is: do not hurt yourself physically, do not hurt anybody else or anything else, do not break anything. And the third rule is don't get arrested, because we need you out in the world. So.
Okay, any other yeah.
Well, I just love this list, and just sort of a point of observation is that if you look at a lot of the community movements, you would have like the total opposite list in a positive sense. Like instead of being dangerous, it would be harmless, in the good sense of doing no damage. And just love this list.
Take a picture.
I don't have a cell phone. That's the problem.
Everything we do is copyleft. Copyleft. It is not copyrighted. It is for you to use, steal, make workshops, write books, write scripts for movies, anything you want. Give it away. It's for you guys. So please take it, steal it, use it. Everything, all the websites, all 500 websites is copyleft. Yes?
How does a community work if everyone is dangerous and everyone is going first?
Yeah. My ideal community. I invite you to really consider that question and what's in the way of you being thrilled about that. There's some concerns that you would have about it.
I might be thrilled about it. I'm just curious about what you're saying.
Okay. Anything else besides what I said then? I mean, okay. The capitalist patriarchal empire functions in hierarchical structures. Hierarchical structures work with, you can move up the ladder of power positions if you can get them. The people who are most able, most capable of doing whatever it takes to get a power position are psychopaths. So the hierarchical structures used anywhere, even in NGOs, are top-heavy with psychopathic personalities. Psychopaths and those that imitate them to get the same benefits. So when you move the hierarchy into a circle, and the middle is empty, not even a candle or flower or a scarf, even if it's made from silk or seashells or crystals or pictures of your dead brother or whatever. The middle is completely empty. Then you get access to the void. You need the nothingness. If you have a circle with nothing in the middle, that works according to a different set of skills. And the skills, we call that Taurus technology. There's a website called Taurus Technology that gives you all kinds of tools for ways to make decisions for unleashing multiple chaotic sources of even conflicting creative forces, conflicting creative forces in the circle, cut them loose all at the same time and utilizing that, unleashing it.
In the circle, in the hierarchy, there's a limited amount of power position or responsibility position. In a circle, there's an infinite number, because the circle can just get bigger, of people going first and saying, I'm taking a stand for this, I want this to happen. And just the number of people that take responsibility are that dangerous in a way of making a proposal that was not existing in the community, that is being dangerous, because the community needs to shift the whole, you know, and so that's how it would work in a community.
Yeah, in the Taurus technology, when you see a job, it's your job. Awareness breeds responsibility, and so, and responsibility is consciousness in action. Responsibility is applied consciousness. So you cut that loose in the circle. You say, I take responsibility for this. I created node for this. I'm holding space for this. And it's you see the job. You have the knacks. You're inspired. You're doing the thing that needs to be done. And the things that, you know, a community would, you know, we were at this community in Mexico, and they have this, you know, they're this amazing community in Mexico, and they have this garden. And I'm looking at the garden. I'm going,
Supposed to feed 30 people.
Yeah, it does. It could feed like 3 people, the garden, sometimes. And so we bring it up in the group, and we go, what's with your garden? And the question is, okay, who loves to do the garden? You know, who's holding space for the garden? Whose garden is this? And there was nobody. They let the garden go. If it isn't turning somebody on, it doesn't need to exist.
Even if there's this idea of a community should have a garden,
Yeah.
it's completely insane because people are forced into doing things that they don't want to do.
And they're living in this place where everybody around them has amazing gardens. They can grow all this stuff in Mexico. And it's like anything you can buy from them supports them. So why are you growing your own vegetables? It's like saying fuck you to all your neighbors and just buy their stuff. You know, garden over. People freeze up, and everybody in the community going, oh yeah. So like that. If somebody doesn't want to do it, let it drop off. I mean, it shouldn't. Yes.
Thank you.
I just sort of a point of, I mean, having been grown up in the community movement, my mother and father literally created the Eco-Village Network, and my dad is sitting down there. And just say that this list I've been looking for my whole life. Because sort of basically we have the magician energy, which is about creating new realities that have been working through the lover energy, and everything which is happening in the community, beautiful things, healing, networking, all this stuff is magician energy channeled through the lover energy, and magician energy channeled through the warrior is that. Basically, the Eco-Village movement is not dangerous to the patriarchy as it is. And we need to get fucking dangerous because we've got to take this down. And we have an autumn. I think we are going to have a terrible autumn where they're going to come us out with everything that they have one more time. And we need to create I take a stand of creating an alliance to take down the patriarchy. Hopefully this needs to happen. We need to build something, and we need to integrate this warrior energy with the Eco-Village love energy and get dangerous.
Yes. It would be a good idea.
My name is on the back of, what's his name? Brad Blanton. What's it called? Radical Honesty. You guys know Brad Blanton? He's got this book out called The Corporate Cannibal Cookbook. How to cook corporate CEOs and eat them. So the point is to eat the corporate CEOs. And on the back of the book, you'll see a recommendation for the book with my name on it. So not much deniability about that. Yes?
About this notion about being dangerous and this rule to avoid being arrested. I think authorities will find us being dangerous when we avoid to be fearful of being arrested.
That's
this
one
is
possibility.
this is like their main threat to us. Like if you do this, you will get arrested. And
That's
if
one
this threat doesn't
possibility.
work anymore, you can achieve a lot. And if you do it with a lot of people, you can clog up their jail system. And there's too many people and too little jails. And
Thank you.
this can be a tactic.
Thank you. We'll send you cookies.
Yes.
All right, I'd like to move into skill 14, which is a thing that you can, it's a non-material value skill that you can take with you and use when in different situations whenever it comes up. How many of you do process work with people, or healers, take people through healing process spaces, or one-on-one sessions, counselor, therapist. Okay, half, at least half of you guys, 3/4. Okay, so and those of you who are not yet doing that could be soon. So I just want you to know a lot of that is needed. We were talking about how Gabriela is working over in Poland and organized emotional support for refugees at the beginning of the war, and the first thing she discovered is not enough emotional space holders. Not enough. So this is a huge, huge need right now for clarifying, helping people inter-navigate, completing all this emotions that are coming up that have been suppressed for our whole lives in a stable environment. But when the environment gets unstable, all this stuff starts bubbling up. And so really this is a tool that will help unblock people from holding back the immense intelligence and energy resources of feelings and emotions. So without further ado, I'd like to just simply demonstrate how this will go. Then we will break into groups of 3, and you will get to play all 3 roles for a short time. And Chloe and I will be coaching as we go around. So you will be sort of held in this space. So Gabriela, would you be willing to demonstrate this with us? Good. Do we have a third chair? Or
No, I'll stand because I'll be
okay.
ready.
Good. Oh yeah, and coaching.
And coaching.
Is this chair okay for you? You want this one? All right. So we have 3 roles. What are you doing with that?
Emotionally broken. There might be one here.
Okay. Okay. So I am the space holder. I'm the possibilitator in this case. And so when you sit here, you're being initiated into being the possibilitator, to holding space for a process called removing an energetic block. Just to be clear about this, there's 2 essentially basic kinds of shamanic healing processes. One is banishment, which means to take something extra that is there and take it out, like get rid of it. That's the banishment. And the other kind is retrieval, to bring something back. So yesterday I had an emotional healing process with a woman who had a very shocking, she saw a dancer on the television when she was 23 years old, and she said there was nobody else in the room, and she said, God, I want to dance just like that. And the dancer did a back handspring. So she just started to do this back handspring just like the lady on the TV and pulled her whole back out. She was not trained. She was not ready for this. And it was so shocking for her. And the pain was so immense. And it was such a surprise that she sent a part of her being away for a bit and put in black granite in the hole, and has been living since then with an unhealed back since that time with this black granite in and an unhealed back. And so we went through the process of removing the block and putting her being back in and feeling the feelings. And I could, when I had my hand on her back, I could feel bones moving around, coming back into place. And it's just wonderful to be able to do this for each other. And it's so simple, and we are so skilled at this stuff. It's so natural for us to be facilitators of each other's healing and transformations. So I hope you get this and use it and take it. So I'm going to be, if you're in this role, you're being initiated into doing the process, and Chloe's going to be kind of writing the dialogue, or you might want to take some notes about what I say, because it's pretty simple and precise. If you're sitting over here where Gabriela's sitting, you're going through a healing. You're having a healing process. And if you're doing what Anne-Chloé's doing, she's coaching me, and then you're getting trained as a coach. So, okay. So I have my center grounding cord bubble. I also made another click, so I have a little golden cube just around me and Gabriela.
And actually, the golden cube would also include me.
That's true. Excuse me. Okay,
yes,
now
especially
you could feel that.
Yeah.
Sorry. And I'm putting a grounding cord on our little golden bubble, our golden cube, and the grounding cord is black, about this big around, and it's just to protect the space like that. And I'm also calling my bright principles in. If you don't know your bright principles, don't worry about it. My bright principles are integrity, clarity, possibility, love, transformation, and high-level fun. And that's what I'm calling into this workspace. And hello, Gabriel.
Hello, Clinton.
If you scan over your life and your bodies, can you notice any place where there could be some kind of an energetic block that would be blocking the flow or of feelings, of energy, of even your body flow? Do you notice any place where there might be a block? And that's a yes or no question. Could you?
Yes.
Okay. You just kind of shut your eyes and move your hand. Show me with your hand where the block is. Just put your hand there. Put your hand right on it. Okay. So she's doing that. Great. All right. So if you take your hand away from there, and I'd like you to have a conversation with the block. So you say, hello, block.
Hello, block.
What does it say?
Hi.
Say, thank you for saving my life.
Thank you for saving my life.
What does it say?
Yeah.
So, please tell me what the color of your block is.
Silverish.
It's a silverish block, and show me with your hands the shape of it and the size of it. Just show me with your both hands.
It's like kind of a disc.
Okay.
A bit wider than my neck.
All right. And what is the material like? What's the kind of material?
So there is a rim.
Yeah.
Rim.
Yes.
It's a metal rim.
Yes.
Aluminium, I think. And there is this net.
Okay. A net between.
Net between.
What's the net made out of?
A fiber.
Is it a natural fiber or plastic kind of fiber?
Natural fiber. Natural fiber. Very, very tight fiber.
Really tight?
Very tight net.
Okay.
Almost solid, but there are some. Yeah.
How much does the thing weigh? The block weigh?
It's very light. It's really light.
I just want to tell people that just because it's made of aluminum and fibers, it could weigh 100 kilos. Doesn't have to. They don't have to go together, the weight in it. But it's very light. How many kilos? How many grams?
100 grams.
100 grams. Okay. And what's the temperature of it? You need the answer in grams or kilograms, and you need the answer in degrees centigrade.
Well, it changes temperature. When I connect with it, it gets cold.
Okay.
So now it's 15 degrees,
okay.
17.
Yes.
It gets cold.
Okay, but when you're not connected
when
with
I'm not connecting, it's a bit more than my body temperature, 38 maybe, 37.
Okay.
So it's warmer.
Thank you. And what is the purpose of this block?
It gets tightened and it gets it closes
Just
the
pause
the
for
flow.
just a second. I don't know if you guys saw this, but as soon as I said, what's the purpose of this block, she swallowed. And when she swallowed down a feeling. And we're going for the feelings. We want to get to the liquid state with the feelings. It's so important with this, is to have the feelings come up. So I noticed that she swallowed, which is a very common thing. Or sometimes people bite their lips like that, or breathe out, or they scrunch their face. There's all these ways we have for blocking feelings and emotions. So I saw it. So she's already has a feeling. She's already coming up. I said, what's the purpose? Feeling was right there, but she's blocking it right now. So, but there's another question you're going to ask that will bring it right back up. So the purpose of it is to say it again. You said tight to do what?
You need to connect with it more. It just tightens and blocks the...
Blocks the what?
It blocks the energy from Gaia that flowed through my whole body.
Whew. When did you put the block in? What was happening in your life when you put this block in? How old were you when you put this block in?
I was 4.
Okay. 4 years old. Keep going. Let the feelings come up. 4 years old, you're inside the house or outside when you put the block in?
I was outside.
What was happening?
I was playing with my brother and our friends.
Yes.
And I had these ideas, and I wanted the group to do something that came up to me.
Yes. Let the feelings come up. Your body's moving, but you're not letting the feelings up. And I know the block is still there. Yeah, from your right hand, this kind of stuff is big feelings. The shaking in the hand, the arm. Just let it get bigger. And then what's happening? What's happening, Gabriella? What's happening? You're 4 years old. You make a proposal to do something. What and what happens?
And they first ignore me.
Yes.
And because I'm a girl, and they say this is my brother, their older brother, and they're his friends.
Yes.
And they are cool.
Yes.
And
stay with the feelings more than the story. Yes. And that feeling, let it get bigger and let the sounds come out. Let the sounds start coming out. Yeah, that. The sound, yes, 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 yes. Yes, it's going to be loud, it's going to be loud. Go, go, go. Yes, yes, yes. Yes. What feeling is that, Gabriella? What feeling?
Fear!
About what? Fear about what?
Fear that they don't want my creation.
They don't want your creation, so therefore
they
what?
will abandon me.
Yes, they'll abandon you. And therefore what?
And I will not be with them. I will alone.
Yes. What does this have to do with Gaia? What's the thing with Gaia? Yes, that.
Because there's this. I have these ideas.
Say it.
This life going through me.
Yes. Yes. And
proposals.
Yes.
And this is cool. And I wanted to be alive.
Yes.
And they don't want it. I cannot bring it.
Yeah.
Because they laugh at me, and I'm just 4 years old girl, and they are 6 years old boys.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, it's a different feeling. What's that?
Anger.
About what?
That they don't take me into account.
Yes.
And they laugh at me, and they put me down because I'm a girl.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
I mean it. This is important.
I feel
angry. Because you don't listen to me, and then you don't even open your ears to me.
Yes.
You don't listen a sentence from me.
Yes.
You just put me down because I'm a girl.
Yes.
And it's not important what I say. And it's not me saying. It's the force saying through me.
Yes. Thank you. Stay with the feelings. Stay with your emotional body. Stay with everything. And I'm going to ask you a question. It's an important question you need to ask people. You have had this block in. You put it in to save your life, to be accepted, to be at least not feel the pain of being rejected. You know, so you could maybe play with your brother and his friends and keep it. They wouldn't just send you away because they didn't like your idea. You put this block in when you're 4 years old. Those feelings that you have had were locked in your body since you were 4 years old. Since you were 4 years old, you've been using energy to hold in that fear, that much anger. But you've learned new things. Today you guys are learning new things. Is it time? It's not do you want. Is it time to let the block out?
Yes.
That's the question. Is it time now in your life? Is it time? It doesn't have to be. If you want to keep the block in, I did one time, I remember, it's not time to take the block out. I left it in for 2 years, and then it was time for me to take a block out. So it doesn't matter. Just yes, you can take it out. If it's no, you leave it in. So you said yes. It's time to take it out. May I have the pillow, please? I'm just going to take the pillow. Great, good. So say hello, block.
Hello, block.
You did perfect for me.
It is perfect for me.
And now it's time. I have learned new things, and I'm ready to take over.
I've learned new things and I'm ready to take over.
Learn new things and I'm ready to take over. There is another little girl or boy out there in the world right now who needs your service.
There is another girl or boy out there right now who needs your service.
Needs you to save their life.
Need you to save their life.
Like you saved mine.
Like you saved mine.
What does the block say?
Yeah. Interested.
Okay. All right. So you guys remember, I've got a golden cube of space here. So when that thing comes out, when the block comes out, she's going to hold her hands like this. It's going to slide out into her hands, this disc, this aluminum disc with the mesh inside. It's going to slide out into her hands, and then she's going to let it go some way. And it goes off some way. I'm going to click my clicker and make a hole in the side of the cube so it can go out and go to wherever it needs to go next, to some other little boy or girl who can use this thing. And then I'll close the hole in the side, so you don't forget to do that.
I just want to say that
Yes.
I was using a lot of my energy and also some part of my immune system energy to open it when I wanted to speak out. And this is how I was dealing with the block.
You were pushing through it.
Pushing through it. And that was taking my energy. I was falling ill.
Yes. This is often how it is. The body has to compensate in weird ways to have this block in there for so long. And you survived, but it has been expensive. It has cost you. You're feeling
sad
because
of this whole effort I was putting into and missing the energy.
Yes. Okay, so will you hold your hands out in front of the block? Both hands. Just you don't touch it. Just hold out your hands out in front. Yeah. And just say, okay, block, time to come out. You put it in, you can take it out. It's no fight, no battle, no struggle. You put it in, you take it out, just like this.
Okay, block.
You're good? Yeah.
It's time to come out.
And you will feel something when this is coming out. Don't be surprised. You might feel scared, you might vomit, you might feel sad, you might shake. Don't worry about it. Just let it feels weird. Doing super. Yeah. Let the sounds out. It's important to let the sounds out. All the way, all the way, all the way, all the way. Keep going. Keep going. All the way. It's 3/4 out. 3/4 already. Yes. All the way out. Yes. Okay, and then let it go out of the space. Let it go out of the space so it can complete its journey. Yes. 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 There you go. Yes, yes, yes. Right there. Sorry, I was going to give it to you. So the energy is already starting to flow. The energy is already going back, and it's since she was 4 years old, it wasn't flowing like this before. Let me know which country your block went to. Which country did your block go to?
United States.
United States, thank you. You can drop the tissue on the floor and grab another one if you want, right there by your foot. Just drop the other one, yeah.
Just let the energy circulate just through your body, yeah.
Okay. I'd like you to use a little, this block is rough. The block is aluminum, it's hard, there's flesh and tissues, there's this energetic roughness. So I'd like you to use open up your jar of healing cream on your bench here or by your side in your bag of things. I don't know where you have it. So, yeah, good. What color is your healing cream?
purple.
Take a
with
big handful of that stuff. Big handful. And smear it around, all the way around where the block was. Yeah.
Way deep in.
Yeah, another handful, great. Okay, and then, all right. And as a, thank you, puts a cap on the jar, puts the jar back, and then let the energy that's flowing now just say something. Just let it say something.
I can see and speak the colors of the universe are endless, and gosh, Gaia is so angry. The fucking diluting with water all of the colors and not putting boundaries and not putting stuff where it belongs and not taking stand.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Gabriela, anything else right now about letting the block come out and reconnecting with your whole self, 5 bodies connected again? Anything else about that right now?
I just want to use a golden pearl.
Yes, go ahead. Just going to use a golden pearl and just balance things out. Great. I'm going to ask people if they have any questions already. So we'll probably have time for one of the 3 people to do this. So when you're a group of 3, one of you gets to do, you get to play each role 1 time. So whoever wants to sit in that seat, put your hand up and then get 2 other people. Procedure, and Chloe wrote the notes down about what to say and how it goes. It's all the time, it is approximately like that. This is the path or the map for the removing the energetic block process, which can be part of other processes. You can discover a block anytime, anywhere, and then go through this process and let things flow again. And you could see how it was so important to her when she was 4 years old. It was a 4-year-old girl's decision that changed her life up until now. And so we have these blocks from our childhood, and possibly from past lives even. So we have these blocks still carried in us. So, is there any questions about how this goes? Yeah, Rolf?
It's clear what the 2 of you are doing. The 3rd person in the group, what are they doing?
Well, they would be coaching me. Go ahead, you want to say?
Yeah, I'm usually the coach. Clinton is pretty skilled in doing this. But it's to just feel as a space holder, it can be scary to hold space for first time for a person, and it's just really support. So if the coach, it's really, as a coach, you're not on the hot seat. So it's often there's more possibility or ideas. It can be, try this, say this. Yeah.
And also, when you're the coach and you have, when you're the possibilitator and you have a coach at your side, you can just look at them and say, prompt. And they'll just tell you what to say next. It's so cool to have a coach at your side. Just say, prompt me, prompt. Just like on a stage or something. Yes?
Yeah, I didn't notice you open the bubble and close it again.
Okay.
Did you? Or?
Yes.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay.
It went off this way. Sorry. So my hand was over here, so you couldn't. I didn't make it too loud.
Okay.
But I did. I opened it and closed it. Thank you.
Yeah, I have 2 questions. So first, it's like I've noticed you go through like I feel and then like because, but the timing I am, because the person is going through its own process. So I know it's intuitive, but I'm just asking because if there is a map, is like how much do you allow the person to feel to give a direction?
Yeah, this is not really about the feelings. So I wanted you to see that there are feelings that come through most of the time. Gabriela is a skilled feeler. She can feel, she can do inner navigating. So for most people it won't be that big. I just wanted you to know there are emotions, there are feelings with this when that thing comes out or wherever the block is. When it comes out, there are feelings and emotions and especially when you put it in. The thing that was happening in your life, when you put that in, there's big feelings and emotions about it. And after it comes out, there's feelings and emotions. But one second, it's not intuitive. It's not so intuitive. What it is I know what I'm feeling. I'm connected with Gabriela. I know what she's feeling. And so it's simply, I'm asking her to say what she's feeling. And then it goes to her mind. So her heart's talking to her mind with the words, but she's feeling it already. But then she knows what the feeling is, mad, sad, glad, or scared, how big it is, what it's about. And that all goes to her mind and it just integrates the whole thing like that. So it's not really intuitive, it's just you feel it.
Yeah, I was feeling a lot of emotions myself, personally, as an observer.
Yes.
From what she was going through.
Yes.
And so I was wondering if that's something similar to what...
It's exactly what I was feeling.
Okay.
You were feeling what I was feeling, which is, if you can feel yourself, you can feel what other people are feeling. Keep your center grounding cord and your bubble, and then she can have her feelings, you can have your feelings, and they're different. So you're not feeling her feelings, you're feeling like a map onto, and then you may have something similar for you. You may have a block in for something similar happened in your life. And that's a doorway then for your emotional healing process, or a block, something like that.
Okay.
Anything else right now? Yes?
What about time?
Meaning what?
Like, sometimes you can, to find like a blockage can be difficult to, if you're being in your mind or like not experienced with navigating your own body.
You said what about time? In terms of how much time it takes, or?
As being a facilitator,
yes,
can take time to let the person who you're facilitating, to let them find their body. Like,
Can I say something? Yeah. The thing we're faced with here is most of us have blocked your feeling. We put in blocks because it was not okay to be angry, sad, and scared, even glad. But to remove the block, you need to be able to feel to some degree. So it's a little bit the chicken and the egg problem. And that's why we're starting with the energetic block so that you can have a chance to learn better inner navigation. That's why Clinton was saying it will not be as intense or clean as Gabriela, but if you get a chance, then you have more space in yourself to start this inner navigation of mad, sad, glad, and scared in another process, or in another space.
Does that help?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, Ross?
What if you're not conscious of your block? How can you answer these questions about the size and shape and so forth?
Yes. At the beginning, she was not conscious of it. I asked Gabriella if she would demonstrate this before, and she said yes, but I also said don't think about it. And so when she was not conscious of all of those things, and when I asked the question, that's when it opened the door for the answers to the questions. She did not know any of that stuff before. So when you're sitting in the chair and I ask you the question, you will check it out, and it will say, your block will speak, your heart will speak, your energetic body will speak, and that's how you don't have to know. It does not come from here. Okay?
Yeah,
you don't figure it out.
And it might not make sense, but you just speak.
What happens if the person is not ready to take the block out?
Yeah, then you say just don't. Oh, you mean if I say, here's the block, here's where it came from, and I say, is it time for the block to come out? And she says no. You say thank you, and you say no problem, it's great. But now you know where the block is, you know where it came from, you know what it's doing in your world, and when it is time, you can talk to the block. Block, will you let me know? She says this. Please let me know when it's time, or she will feel it. Like when it was time for me to let my block out 2 years later, it just came. It was clear. It was okay. Now it's time. I don't want to do this anymore. Yeah. Good. Yes.
It's a question for Gabriela, or like from other experiences, but also the situation that you explained that the block came from, that also you didn't know before, like or it is a scene in your life that you remember.
Well, I didn't know before, and it just appeared that I was 4 years old. So I had a clarity that I put this, and I but when you would ask me what day it was before, I would not remember this situation. So it is in a memory of my bodies, on my energetical body and on my physical body, because I could feel the temperature as well. So this is in a memory of body. So I just get an impulse, invitation to remind myself, and then the memory comes back.
Okay.
With the whole experience, emotional also.
Yes.
One more question. When you removed the block 2 years later.
Me, yes.
Did you do it by yourself?
No.
Or you?
No, I get a possibilitator. I sit down.
Okay.
Could you please hold space for me to do this block removal process?
Okay.
Yeah. Doesn't take very long.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes. In the front. Yes.
Okay, I'm curious about the language, because it's an intense process and something happened in your childhood and you didn't probably speak English then. So I feel that it would be more difficult for me to do this if it's not my mother tongue.
Yeah, it turns out to be possible to do in English, for example. And there are times when, especially in standing rage process, in floor rage processes, when the mother tongue is really needed. Those are times when it's really needed. But there's enough integration of the foreign language to manage to navigate the energetic process. And you won't know that till you actually get to do it yourself. So but I can hear the consideration, but please explore. Yeah. Great. Somebody else? Yes.
I was just wondering about the process. For me it's not clear, do we do all three? Or
We won't
no,
have time to
just
do
one? Yeah,
we're gonna have time to do one person. So how many people would like to do the block removal process? Okay, we have 2 people already. 3,
There's 2
4.
behind the block
To be in what?
No, I want to be there.
To be
I'm
the
talking
client.
here.
To be the client.
How many people want to have in the hot seat? So
what?
In the chair.
The burning hot seat.
Okay. So please get yourself somebody you want to hold space for you and a coach, and arrange yourself in groups of 3. And if you're not selected and still want to stay in the space and just observe, then please do that. But
help us hold space.
yeah, help us hold space. Okay, go.